Good morning, dear students. We are studying chapter 2 of The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, and we have already studied chapter 1, Civilizing Hucks. Now, let's study chapter 2, that is Playing Robbers. As you know, in chapter 1, Huckleberry has been adopted by widow Douglas as her own son, and she's making full attempts to make him civilized. She is teaching him lessons from different subjects, making him disciplined, teaching him manners of civilized society. But Huck is finding life very tough there because he doesn't feel like doing anything. He is missing his old ruffian friends, and he doesn't like to learn spellings from Miss Watson, his sister of widow Douglas, and Miss Watson scolds him very much. So one night he gets signals from Tom, his old friend, and he scrambles through window of his room and crawled on the ground through the trees to reach his friend Tom Sawyer, who is waiting there. And then both of them go to meet other friends. They all go to a cave, and there they start a gang, and name is given Tom Sawyer's Gang, and whose work will be, and the work of the gang will be murder and robbing. But they are not able to be in one opinion on the working days of the gang. So they decide to meet very soon to finalize the working day. Now, in chapter 2, that is Playing Robbers, so they only played robbers for about a month, but they did no robbery or murder. They were just only playing. They were children, they were just playing. And in this way, 3 or 4 months pass, and then winter season arrives. Huckleberry now goes to school, and he still finds the life of studying very boring. He has been able to learn only up to 6 times 7 is 35. 6 times 7 is 35. And he thinks that even in whole life he won't be able to learn anything further. Now there is incident of one morning. At breakfast, he suddenly, means accidentally, hits the container of salt, that is salt cellar, container in which salt is kept, and which made Miss Watson very angry. And she starts scolding the boy. And after he finishes breakfast, he was feeling very sad as he had been scolded by Miss Watson. I was in low spirits. Low spirits means very sad. I was in low spirits. Low spirits means very sad. And then he went over the wall, fence, that is wall there, and he found there fresh snow. He found there fresh snow covering the ground up to 1 inch. Means the ground was covered with fresh snow and it was up to 1 inch. There, Huckleberry saw the mark of boots. He was very much surprised. Whose footprints they might be? And when he looked at the mark, he found there was a cross on the left boot heel. There was a cross on the left boot heel, and which was made with big nails, only to keep away the devil, keep away the evil spirits. And he quickly recognized that mark. It was his father's, and he was now sure that his father was around, and he must be around just to get the money from Huckleberry. He must have heard from somebody about the treasure Huckleberry has got, and now he must have come there to snatch that money from him. But Huckleberry knows very well that his father will waste all the money on drinks, and he didn't want that to become. So he decided that he will not let his money be wasted, That money was not a small amount, it was $6,000. Oh, now he quickly ran down to the hill towards Judge Thatcher's house. Means he didn't waste any minute, any second, and went quickly to Judge Thatcher's house. Why? Because he had given his money to Judge Thatcher's, and Huckleberry knew very well that his father would come to him to get the money, and so when Judge Thatcher saw Huckleberry coming, he thought that he must have come to collect interest on the money. Huckleberry was getting $1 per day as interest. So Judge Thatcher told him the total sum of interest, which was $150. How much interest was there in total? Accrued. It is $150. So Judge Thatcher wanted to know from Huckleberry if Huckleberry wanted the money to invest or he wanted the money back. Now, Huckleberry said that he didn't want the money at all, and not his principal money. Huckleberry said that he neither wanted the interest or the principal, and he expressed his desire to give all the money to Judge Thatcher only. On hearing this from Huckleberry, Judge Thatcher examined him from top to bottom and then said, "Oh, I think I see the reason why you want to sell all your property to me, not to give it." Then it means he understood that Huckleberry wanted all the money to, or not to give him, but he wanted to sell. It means in exchange of all the money, he only wanted $1, and whenever he needed in future, he would return that $1 and get back all the property. So Judge Thatcher did the same, and he wrote something on a piece of paper and read it out. There, you see it says, "For a consideration." That means I have bought it of you and paid you for it. Here is dollar as payment. Now you sign it. So why does Huckleberry does so? He only wants $1 in exchange of all the money, because when his father comes to him, He will say that he has given all his property to his Thatcher and only he has $1 and all his money will be saved and his father will take only $1. Then when Huckleberry returns to his room in Widow Douglas' house, he found his father sitting there. He says he is to be very frightened of his father because his father beat him terribly. But he says when he was beaten severely by his father and pushed, his fear from his father completely vanished. Means he was no longer frightened of his father. Now in this paragraph there is description of his father. See, he was about 50 years old and looked very fearsome. Terrible means fearsome. He has very long hair and not dressed properly. It was tangled, means messed up. It was means not straight. If you don't or comb your hair or oil your hair or regularly, what will be? It will be tangled. And so were his whiskers. It was also tangled. His face was sickly dead white. Sickly dead white means as though someone is very ill. How does one's face look? You know very well. It's white. Means doesn't have any shine. And now his clothes have been described. So the clothes were just rags, means very old and torn clothes, that is rags. So he stood there looking at his father and his father was just looking at him sitting. His father was sitting and looking at Huckleberry. And his father said that Huckleberry had become very fashionable. Means he had been wearing very clean and fashionable clothes. Means he had been well dressed. Also said that Huckleberry was enjoying bed, looking glass and piece of carpet on the floor. Means all the comfort. But his father only got to sleep in the street. Means his father doesn't have any comfort at all. But his father says that he will mend Huckleberry and he wanted all the money by the next day. Well, dear students, it's now clear that he has come to get the money what Huckleberry had found. He must have heard from somebody. Well, dear friend or dear students, rest of the chapter we'll study in another video. Till then, thank you.